Welcome, Mr. Handicap. Let's take a look at race number 14 at Gulfstream Park. It's the Grade 1 Florida Derby. It's a mile and an eighth with a purse of $1 million. Since the year 2000, this race has produced 6 Kentucky Derby winners. Let's take a look at the field. Look at the one horse at 20-1, Young Frau. Has never finished across the finish line first. But 2 races back, did break his maiden by DQ. His last race out in the Withers, he was only 4-1 in that race. He just didn't run at all. Bill Mott is feeling pretty confident to bring him back in the Florida Derby, getting 20-1 on Young Frau. He'll be on the rail. He should be forwardly placed. Take a look at the 2 horse. One of 4 horses from Saffie Joseph. At 20-1, West Coast Cowboy. Broke his maiden at Gulfstream over a sloppy track. Next time out, he finished 4th. And in his 3-year-old debut, the Holy Bull Stakes, finished 3rd in that race. And it wasn't a bad 3rd at all. He's 58-1. He clearly outran his odds. Getting 20-1 on West Coast Cowboy. I also like how he's improved his speed figures. He's had some nice jumps in speed figures. I'm going to use West Coast Cowboy at 20-1 on my tickets. Take a look at the 3 horse Shaq Diesel at 30-1. Won a maiden claiming $50,000 race. Then next time after that, he won an allowance race by 3. Tell you, he's looked good in allowance races and maiden races, but when he takes a step up in stakes horses, he doesn't do so well, especially last time out in the Risen Star Stakes where, well, he wanted nothing to do with that field. He was 184-1, finished 10th, losing by 16. And it's kind of ambitious of them to try to take on this Grade 1 Florida Derby. Getting 30-1 on Shaq Diesel, and he's going to have to step up those speed figures too. The 4 horse at 10-1, Madge. Madge should be forward in this race. Madge's debut, won by 3 3/4, putting up a very nice speed figure. He's 11-1 in that race. Next time out in the Fountain of Youth, finished 4th. But Madge hit the gate. He was wide during that race. Getting 10-1 on Madge. This is an interesting horse at 10-1. I will use Madge on my tickets. With the 5 horse Mr. Peaks. Another long shot trained by Saffie Joseph at 30-1. And this is his first start with Saffie. And he's yet to break his maiden. Side by California Chrome. Should be forward in this race. Getting 30-1 on the 5 horse, Mr. Peaks. Take a look at the 6. Another one of Saffie's long shots. At 30-1, Nautical Star. Broke his maiden last time out at Oaklawn. Winning by a nose. Stretching out for the first time. Saffie has a good record with horses trying to route for the first time. And he's a closer. Got a nice workout coming into this race. Getting 30-1 on Nautical Star. I'm going to use Nautical Star underneath. And there's a 7 horse. Also at 30-1. Il Miracolo. Out of 8 races, only 1 win. That was against maidens. But he hasn't strayed away from stakes races. I mean, they're trying their best to get some Derby points with this horse. Ran in the Grade 2 Remsen. Finished 6th, losing by 31. 2 races back. Tried the Holy Bull. Finished 5th, losing by 10. And he tried the Fountain of Youth last time out. He was 103-1 in that race. Finished 6th, losing by 19. He doesn't have the speed figures to compete with these horses. Getting 30-1 on Il Miracolo. You can look at the 8 horse, also at 30-1. Another one of Saffie's long shots. Mr. Ripple. Broke his maiden at Gulfstream in his debut by a very impressive 9 1/4. Next time out, his 3-year-old debut. Finished 3rd. And his last race, a 1 and 1/8 distance, finished 2nd. Did take a step down in speed figures in that race. Getting 30-1. An 8 horse, Mr. Ripple. Take a look at the 9 horse, Cyclone Mischief, at 8-1. Broke his maiden at Keeneland by 5 1/4. And ran the Kentucky Jockey Club. Finished a disappointing 7th in that race. His 3-year-old debut won an allowance race at Gulfstream by 5 3/4. Next time out in Holy Bull, he was the favorite in that one. Finished 7th, losing by 11 lengths. Bounced back a bit in the Fountain of Youth, finishing 3rd, putting up a decent speed figure. Getting 8-1 on Cyclone Mischief. Look at the 10 horse, Fort Bragg. Shipping in from California. Broke his maiden 3 races back at Santa Anita. Finished 3rd after that. His last race out in his 3-year-old debut, finished 5th. Put up a couple nice speed figures. He was trained by Bob Baffert. Tim Yakteen is taking over, getting Joel Rosario aboard. He's got a couple of nice workouts coming to this one. Getting 5-1 on the 10 horse, Fort Bragg. Then there's your morning line favorite at 4-5, Forte. Broke his maiden by 7 3/4. Finished 4th in Sanford. On the grade 1. Hopeful at Saratoga by 3. Then won the Breeders' Futurity. And followed that up with a win in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. After a few months off, made his 3-year-old debut in the Fountain of Youth. And he looked awesome. He looked impressive. Posting his fastest speed figure, winning by 4 1/2. His trainer, Todd Pletcher, has won this race 6 times. He is clearly the horse to beat. By far, he is the horse to beat. He's faster than these horses, and he's better than these horses. And I'm going to tell you, this Florida Derby, this isn't the toughest field that I've seen in the Florida Derby. But he is coming from post position number 11. Now, that may not mean anything to Forte. He's good enough to overcome that post position. But in the last 5 years at Gulfstream Park, 1 and 1/8 dirt race, post number 11 is 0 for 10. In fact, posts 9 through 12 is 2 for 54. Horses on the outside don't do too well in 1 and 1/8 races at Gulfstream. But that may mean absolutely nothing to Forte. Getting 4-5 on Forte, of course I'm going to use him on my tickets. Close out the field, there's the 12 horse W Nell at 6-1. Finished 4th in his maiden debut at Saratoga. Then broke his maiden at Aqueduct over a sealed sloppy track. Next time out in the Grade 2 Remsen at a 1.8 distance. He won that race over a sealed sloppy track. And he made his 3-year-old debut. Sam F. Davis, well, he was the favorite. And he finished a very disappointing 8th. Maybe he can bounce back in this one. Maybe he only likes sealed sloppy tracks. Who knows? Getting 6-1 on W. Nell, written by Jose Ortiz. So these are the horses that I'm going to use on my tickets in this Florida Derby. I'm going to use West Coast Cowboy. I'm going to use Madge. I'm going to use Forte and Nautical Star. Forte is the best horse in this field. It's clearly the horse to beat. It's 4-5 morning line. You may not get that often when the gates open. You may be bet down to 3-5 or 2-5. I will use him in my multi-race wagers. I'm going to try to pick an upset in this race. I'm going to go with the 10-1 horse, Madge. I think Madge is going to be forward in this race. Going to get a much better trip than he got in the Fountain of Youth, getting Luis Saez. I'm going with the 4 horse in an upset at 10-1. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe if you haven't, and leave me a comment. Let me know who you're picking in the Grade 1 Florida Derby. Good luck.